Hey guys, how's it going? Komoda here. Welcome to another tutorial for Cymatics. It's Halloween week over here at Cymatics, and we just put out a new pack called Spirits for Serum. It's a really cool $1 pack with over 200 presets, samples, effects. It's so cool. And I actually want to show you how I made some of them. There's so many infinite ways to make ambience, and you get really creative. And I'm sure a lot of you know about making pads and things like that. But I want to show you maybe some more abstract techniques to make some cool ambient background sounds that are specifically Halloween themed and kind of dark and grungy and weird. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a raw vocal from the recordings for the Phantom vocal pack that we're also putting out. And I'm going to find something kind of slow and drony. So I'm going to grab one of those there, and I'm going to make a new track, and I'm going to pop it on. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a bunch of harmonic intervals that sound really dissonant and gross with these sounds. What this means is we're going to be duplicating it out, and we're going to be changing the pitch of them. So the first thing we want to do is we actually want to stretch this sample and make it longer. So we're going to turn warp mode on. We're going to set it to complex, and we're just going to double the length of it a couple times there. Once we have it the length we want, we're going to duplicate it out so we can make some dissonant harmonic layers. So what we're going to do is we're going to pitch it up in semitone values until we hear an interval that sounds really disgusting and tense. So I find there that kind of adds some tension. And what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate it again, and we're going to do one down below that adds tension. So I found that one there was really gross, and what we're going to do is we're going to group it, and that is the first step. After that, I really find it's just getting creative. So what we're going to do is we're going to slap on a grain delay, and a tutorial on a grain delay could be a whole tutorial unto itself. So what we're going to do is we're just going to fiddle around without even thinking and find something kind of cool. Cool, that's kind of gross. Let's dial back the dry wet. Nasty. Now again, you can just go crazy with effects at this point. You can do whatever you want, but I'm just going to finish it off by washing this thing out with a ton of reverb and then adding some gain back with a utility. Now, if it's still sounding too vocal-like at this point for you, I got a really cool technique. What we're going to do is we're going to mess up the whole harmonic structure of the sound using a frequency shifter. Now, again, this too is a whole other tutorial unto itself, but all you need to know is this does not transpose things. This changes it in hertz values across the entire spectrum, which really messes up the mathematic harmonic scale and creates some really weird tones. So let's just try playing with this a little. That's weird. That sounds like some weird demonic spaceship landing or something. So there we go. That's technique number one, how you can use vocals, stretch them out, reverb them out, and pitch them in really weird ways to get some cool results. Now this next technique is actually a recorded file technique, and you can actually find it in this pack. It's dry ice on metal. Now, depending on the piece of metal and the piece of dry ice, you can get some really cool results. I actually have some of my own recordings in my own library that I'm going to use for this one. Now, you can use any type of Foley. It doesn't have to be dry ice on metal, but I just thought this was a really good starting point and a really cool idea for somewhere to start. So let's find something really tonal. Perfect. I love that first metal screech. Now for this one, what we're going to want is we're going to first want a delay. And we're going to want a delay with a really high feedback. And I'm going to want an even faster time value. And then we're going to add some reverb. Now we want this thing to also have a lot of volume, kind of sausage throughout the whole thing, so it's always the same dynamic, just so it can be placed in the background more easily. And I'm actually going to use the OTT multiband setting, which I'm sure all of you know, to really squish the dynamics and get some crazy results. And you can just start to toss, other types of Foley in. So let's go back to the pack here and let's find something else. Let's just try some glass here. Now the combination of the delay with high feedback and the OTT turning up all the quiet parts, you get this really long, drawn out, tense sound, and I think it's really cool. Now the last idea here is my absolute favorite. What we're going to do is just grab any sort of sample you have. I'm going to grab another one of these vocals. And if you have Suite, you have Max for Live. And what we're going to do is we're going to slap Convolution Reverb Pro on. Now how a convolution reverb works is it uses an impulse response, or someone who went out and recorded a sound in a space, to read how that sound reacted in that space to recreate that type of reverb for your sound. So for example, there's tons of different ones that comes with it, like different churches, concert halls. They went out and they recorded what I believe is a sine wave in this environment so you can hear what occurs to it. Now what's really cool, however, is you can slap any sort of sound in there yourself to create impulse responses. You can throw, say, basses in. Let's try a different one. Or you can get really creative and you can even throw things like drum loops in. Now the different combination of impulse responses and source sounds, you can get some really crazy results. Now this is just scratching the surface of some of the techniques that we use to make these ambient sound, these effects, or even these presets. We really got creative with them to make you some super spooky, super dark, really fun and unique samples. We got lots of goodies in store for you this Halloween, so keep your eye out for other packs, other tutorials, and all the other good stuff we have to give, because we love Halloween and we love you guys. So thanks again, guys. We'll be back soon with another tutorial. Peace.